Ideanomics has got a new massive bet going on, and this is the bet: Ideanomics to fuel growth of Energica motor dealer network in the US. But this expansion and acquisition has got some hidden details which we're gonna look at. And also, why is Idex falling right now? But let's start from the very beginning. First of all, Ideanomics has launched a tender offer to increase its ownership stake into Energica from a 20% to approximately 70%. And Energica is an Italian company, and some articles have come out in Italy, and obviously I'm Italian, so I'm gonna show you everything in this video. But remember that for any news on Idex, this is the channel for you, so stick around if you're interested in that. But let's move on. Now, this is what this new deal, this new bet that Idex has got, is obviously to improve their revenues, but most importantly is to actually get more foot floor, more dealers in the US. And this is the bet: dealer floor plan financing arrangement will be the goal of more than doubling Energica dealers in the United States by the end of 2021. And so the idea is to have more dealers in the US and also being able to profit from this financing solution. But most importantly, they're trying to double the number of dealers so that they can also sell other options, other electric vehicles that Idex has got in store. Now, this is a bit that I'm sure you don't know. So these are the current dealers that sell Energica in the US. And as you can see, there are 14 dealers, so mostly on this side of the US. Sorry guys if I'm butchering it, but mostly are on this side. Then there are a few on this other side, and then just one bang in the middle in Texas. So nothing here in the middle of the US. I'm not sure why, but that will be interesting and definitely a good opportunity for Idex to expand their dealership network. And as I promised you, a part of the news that you definitely do not know, because it was all in Italian, so I translated for you and I'm gonna show you in just 1 second. So this is actually for you. I'm not expecting you to understand, but basically this offer that Ideanomics has made to Energica is to basically be able to take over the entirety of the company. This is what this article is about. It's gonna happen in October, and basically you can see it here. The agreement is to delist. As you can see here, that's the only English word in the whole of the article, but the idea is to delist Energica from the Milano stock market and then become one of the subsidiaries of Ideanomics, as many other companies that are part of the Ideanomics group. Now, how much revenue and what kind of products can we actually expect from Energica? The question is very important because, as you know, Ideanomics is not profitable and they're trying to expand their subsidiaries and also increase their revenues, because at the moment they don't really have much going on. They have a bit of revenues from Timios, the only company that used to be profitable, and now being part of Ideanomics, obviously they are unable to make enough cash for everyone. So now I'm gonna show you how much Energica will add to the overall revenues of Ideanomics. And these are the financial data for Energica. So as you can see, they've actually increased their revenues by double between 2019 and 2020. Don't get fooled by these numbers. These are not $1 billion. These are actually just 6 million euros, what the amount of money they made before obviously all the costs, and then at the end of their cost and everything, they actually took out a loss, and it was 6 million loss. That's the net income, and as you can see, the loss is 6 million euros. So the company overall is not really profitable. Hopefully this new subsidiary will be a great addition also to improve the other products, electric vehicles obviously, that Idex can sell. All of this is not a big deal today. Why? Because the market is going down and Ideanomics is doing the same. So what are the reasons? Well, let me show you. There are actually two reasons. Now, the first one is Evergrande's total basically failure. That means about $300 billion of debt hanging like a threat over our heads of investors. And by the way, I'm invested in Idex myself, so stick around if you want to know when I buy and sell Idex and other stocks. So the point of this article is just to show you that possibly there is gonna be a massive problem going on here, because this massive company is actually going bust. And to be honest, why is Idex being affected? Well, there are other articles that I'm gonna show you in 1 second, but basically it's so big, this company Evergrande, that it can drag on the entire market. And so this is another article that is basically a bit extreme, but basically says, should Evergrande succumb to its debt, bankruptcy could be actually comparable to the bank Lehman Brothers. And that was an event that played a role in participating to the 2008 financial crisis. Now, in this case, the crisis was not just due to the Lehman Brothers, but it was one of the main catalysts. And to be honest, I don't think this Evergrande thing is the main reason. There is something else that I'm gonna show you later in the video that is actually much bigger. And by the way, this is not just my opinion. Lehman Brothers had the beauty of 639 billion in assets and 613 billion in liabilities. So actually so much more debt and firepower than Evergrande. And that's why I don't think that Evergrande would be the main factor. There is another one that I'm gonna show you in just 1 second that will be so much more important. Now, I hope this doesn't come to you as news. The Federal Reserve will make a decision this week, and that will be about their monetary policies. Now, this is something that happens every 2 months, more or less. The last time was in July, and nothing happened in August. There were some news coming out, but nothing of this size. And why is this decision linked to Idex? Well, because the whole market is waiting for the Fed to actually say something about their debt, about their policy, because when they start the tapering, and that's what we're gonna look at in just 1 second, it will affect Idex, it will affect the entire market, and most importantly, it will affect even Idex, the total amount of debt that the company has got, because it's quite a lot, and something that we're gonna look at when they're gonna deliver their earnings later this year. But enough talking, let's have a look at this tapering. Now, what the markets are really afraid of is basically this question: when it will formally announce the timing and then actually begin tapering. That means basically stop the crisis era asset purchase program or quantitative easing. Now, this is a massive deal because Idex has got actually quite a lot of debt, even though they have a lot of cash that they've been using to buy other companies. And so when the Fed will actually come out and say, yes, we're gonna start tapering, I don't know, end of this year, when Idex will actually have some repercussions on their balance sheet, because potentially, and this is the biggest bet, and do not listen just to me, I'm just a normal guy on YouTube, but that will also lead to increasing interest rate, and the increase of interest rate always has a repercussion on their existing debt. And so is it then now time to buy Idex or actually sell it? Well, my opinion is that it's better to hold for the moment because the company is not yet profitable. Because Idex is a long-term investment. You don't buy it today to then sell it in the next few days. I am talking for my long-term investors like myself, and then trying to make sure that we always are in the best position as possible on Idex and always up to date on the latest news. And if you want to know if Warren Buffett would buy Idex, click on this video and I'll see you next time.